bust down braids are cute, but they're not practical. For summer, don't get these braids. Don't let them convince you. If y'all see me with a bob in the next 2 videos or so, don't ask questions.
What's up, guys? Bro, this is so weird. Like, get into the vibes. Like, why is it kind of giving podcast? Hey guys, for today's video, we are going to be discussing Bridgerton. Oh, this is so exciting. It's been a minute since I've done one of these discussion videos. Actually, I've only done one of these before. I've literally only done one. I really enjoyed making the discussion video on My Life with the Walter Boys, and you guys told me you guys really liked it as well. So I was really waiting for Bridgerton to come out because I was like, give me the perfect show to do another discussion video on. And now here we are, we can discuss it, yay. Speaking of discussing Bridgerton, we are actually discussing the show right now on my Fable Club. It's like a book club, except we watch TV shows. And yeah, you should join. Like, if you have nobody in your family, like your boyfriend won't watch Bridgerton with you, your dad, he doesn't want to watch it with you, don't worry, the girls are here. It's completely free to join, and we're just discussing the show right now. Everybody's freaking out over part 2, including me. And yeah, it's just fun. So join my Fable Club if you're interested. Let me tell you guys about the sponsor of today's video, Harry's. Harry's is the perfect place to get high quality razors and shaving cream that are not going to irritate your skin or leave you with cuts. Their razor blades are made in their own factory in Germany, and they've been making them for over 100 years. So you know they know what they're doing at this point. What I love about Harry's is that they balance quality with affordability. They don't overcharge you for razors, because if you know, you know, razors are so overpriced for some reason. Like, people really just love to overcharge because they know we need to shave. But with Harry's, everything is sold at factory direct price, so you're not paying extra for no reason. Like I mentioned before, their razors are great if you have sensitive skin. They're not going to leave you with any irritation, and they're also great for dry skin. If you have really dry skin like me, their shaving cream is going to leave you really hydrated with no irritation. Girl, it's the best of both worlds. Me personally, I always dread shaving because it's always a process. You know what I mean? You leave the shower bleeding, irritated, struggling, fighting for your life, feeling like you just fought in a world war. But with Harry's, I don't have to stress anymore about shaving because it's a very easy and seamless process. So if you're interested in trying out Harry's for yourself, literally all you have to do is head over to one of your local retailers. It could be Walmart, Target. I got mine from Target. And thank you so much to Harry's for sponsoring today's video. Bridgerton season 3, huh? Girl, I have my notes ready. I did a whole APA format essay. This is not APA format, but I did a whole essay on this BS. This season is the 3rd installment in the Bridgerton series, this time focusing on Colin, who is the 3rd Bridgerton son, and Penelope, his best friend who lives across the street. I was really excited for this season. I don't even love Colin or Penelope like that, but I think Bridgerton is just such a fun show that it doesn't matter whose season it is or if it's not your favorite character, anything they do is exciting. Like, part 1 of the show focuses mainly on setting up the romance between Penelope and Colin. Penelope is now in her 3rd season out in society, and she's flopping. Okay, no prospects, it's crickets. She's not looking right, you know, she's not feeling confident. She decides, girl, I'm about to switch things up. You know what? This year, I'm finding a husband. I don't care who it is. So she decides to switch up her whole look and debut in her 3rd season, and she's stepping on girls' necks, okay? Unfortunately, even after she redoes her whole look, she's still a flop because, you know, the personality is not there yet. So she enlists the help of her good friend Colin Bridgerton to, you know, give her some lessons on how to be, you know, a little bit more flirty and attractive and help her find a husband. Obviously, in all of this, they actually end up falling for each other. Girl, this season was so messy. Like, this season is a bit different in the sense that while these stories are usually told to be about the Bridgertons and to tell the story from the Bridgerton siblings' perspective, this season focuses a lot more on Penelope and presents her as the main character. We really see things from her perspective mainly, and a lot less from Colin's. The show also really introduces more of an ensemble this season. We have so many characters, so many side plots that I didn't care about. We're introduced to a lot of new characters, as well as seeing old faces from seasons 1 and 2. And unfortunately, we do say goodbye to a lot of fun characters. Edwina was not in this season, which sucks because I love her. They did mention her though. They said she got married and moved to India, which, girl, good for you, but we miss you. Like, where are you at? Daphne also isn't in this, which sucks. And I saw an interview where she was like salty because I think they fired her from the show, which, if that's true, like, why? But honestly, girl, let's be for real. There were so many extra characters that if those people had been in this, it would have been too much. there was just not enough time. I think releasing this in 2 parts was definitely a choice. I don't know how I feel about it. I can see why they did it from a marketing and money-making perspective, because obviously you release it in 2 parts, it stays relevant for longer, people talk about it for longer. But from an artistic standpoint, I don't know if I understand why they did it. I kind of do. I think the story does literally have 2 very significant parts that it needs to tell. Did it have to be released half and half? I don't know. I also think 8 episodes was absolutely not enough to tell this story. I think maybe 10 to 12 episodes at least would have given enough time to really make sure all these stories were properly fleshed out, and every character, since they want to add in 500 of them, properly resolve all of their stories. I think a lot of the show felt really rushed and just lacked a bit of substance, and I really think it's because it just didn't have enough episodes. 8 episodes for all that was going on this season simply was not enough. I think my biggest issue with part 1, they allocated so much time to random side plots, be it Benedict, be it Cressida, that really the main characters don't have that much screen time. I think somebody in my Fable club like actually did the math and like calculated how much screen time Penelope and Colin have together in part 1. And out of like around 4-ish hours, they only have 40 minutes of screen time, which is crazy to me. I think it's crazy that not only do they have such little screen time, but they basically have equivalent screen time to some of the characters, even though it was not their season. Francesca had so much screen time, and while I really enjoyed her storyline, I'm just like, girl, I'm not watching Francesca's season, I'm watching Penelope's. So why are there no scenes with Penelope in them? I really like the trope of like friend helps like coach the other person to like help them find love and ends up falling for them. I like that trope. I think it's so cliche. It's a tale as old as time, but it's really cute when it's done properly. And I think they didn't do it properly. First of all, the coaching in question lasted 1 episode, and then Penelope got exposed, so they had to stop. Girl, this is why, again, I say this thing needed more episodes, because I would have loved for there to at least be, you know, 2 episodes of them doing the whole like coaching thing. In spending all of that extra time together, Colin starts to realize his feelings for Penelope. Girl, no, it was 1 scene and then she got exposed, so she had to wrap that up. After that, Colin is kind of in a dilemma, even though he hasn't interacted with Penelope at all. And after she finally finds like a good marriage prospect, he suddenly is jealous and wants Penelope. Girl, that's not how we do things around here. It was kind of given like, oh, I don't like you, but now that you're trying to move on, you can't have anybody else. I like you now. Girl, I know that's not what they were trying to do, but with the horrible pacing and writing, that's how it came. I literally found myself rooting for Lord Debling. That's how much the main love story was lacking. I wanted Penelope to pick his ass, because I was like, Colin has not groveled at all. Where's the groveling? Where's the groveling? Where's the fighting? I'm not seeing any of it here. In part 1, they really just waste a lot of time. Even when the main characters are on screen, it'll be them not interacting. I'm gonna get more into depth on the side plots later, but I just really felt like, considering the season was supposed to be about Colin and Penelope, I wasn't seeing them much in part 1. Like by episode 4, which is the last episode in part 1, when Colin is on his knees professing his love for Penelope or whatever, I'm just looking left and right like, girl, what? I just feel like there was no payoff, because it was like, girl, where was the build up? Although I do love slow burns, it doesn't have to be slow. It just has to have good build up. It has to be believable, you know what I mean? And I feel like we were just lacking that all of part 1. So that carriage scene, I'm just watching like, girl, how did we even get here? Girl, with part 2, there was just too much going on. Girl, trying to get this secret out. Part 2 of the series focuses completely on Lady Whistledown, both finally trying to tell Colin the secret, but also everybody named Mama in society trying to find out who she is. In part 2, Penelope has just gotten engaged to Colin, but Eloise is not having it. She's like, girl, you need to tell my brother the truth, or it's about to be wraps for your ass. And so Penelope is, you know, trying to figure out when's the best time to tell Colin. We already have enough problems because Eloise is threatening us just as it's already getting bad. The queen decides, yeah, I need to find out who Lady Whistledown is today. There's money on Lady Whistledown's head. 5,000 pounds if you can tell me who the hell she is. Girl, tell me why Cressida decides, you know what would be a great idea? If I just took credit for being Lady Whistledown. Girl, like, why is it giving Real Housewives? Why is it giving reality TV? Why is there so much going on? Girl, I can't keep up. And this is just the main story. Tell me why there's also a million other things going on with these side plots I don't care about. That is all to say, I did really enjoy part 2 a lot more than part 1. I think part 2, although it was still just as messy, it was just as ghetto. I think the drama of it all made it a lot more interesting. It was a messy watch, but it was a fun watch. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just me being messy, but I was really invested in all of the storylines compared to part 1, where I just really wasn't feeling the romance. Girl, I was more invested in Francesca's storyline, if I'm being so honest. It was just a wild ride, but at least it was fun. You know what I mean? Although I do think there was absolutely way too much going on, I think they did a good job of balancing all those things. And by the end of the series, they resolve everything pretty well. Getting into some of these characters, we're gonna start with Penelope. Obviously, it's her season, period. I honestly went into this season somewhat of a Penelope hater. Yo, hate is a strong word. Whoa. I was very excited for her season, but you know, she really left a lot of rough, loose ends at the end of season 2. And I was just like, oh, before I back this girl up, they're gonna have to do some redemption. They're really gonna have to redeem her character. Hopping into this season, they didn't really do that. We really just hop right in. We're supposed to be rooting for her. And I'm just like, girl, I haven't forgotten what you did in season 2. Like, in season 1. I think a big issue also with Penelope is that she's just nice almost to a fault. Obviously not when she's writing Lady Whistledown, but in her real life, like, girl, sometimes I would just be watching her and I'm just waiting for this girl, like, to get off her hands and knees. Girl, please, like, that scene where she, like, begged Colin to kiss her. Girl, how about you stand up?
Penelope.
It would not have to mean anything, and I would never expect anything from you because of it, but I am nearly on the shelf and I have never been kissed and I am not certain I ever will be. I could die.
I was waiting for them to show us a bit of that spunkier side, you know, that side of her that gives her the confidence to do something as crazy as be Lady Whistledown. I was like, ain't no way this is the same girl that, like, literally roasts everybody in the paper. Cause you have no backbone. Like, girl, can you please defend yourself? Just once for me, just once for the camera. What I realized by the end of the season was that the reason they didn't instantly redeem her character and she wasn't this confident, spunky girl we were expecting her to be, or not we, because I'm just slow, that I was expecting her to be, is because she literally was not that person yet. This season is actually us watching her grow into that person in real time. I don't know, upon reflection, I ended up kind of liking that structure instead. It's just nice that by the end of the show, she is able to be not only confident, but she's also recognizing her wrongs in Lady Whistledown. And I don't know, it was just nice to see. I was like, okay, Penelope, like, also get into these outfits, because if Penelope did one thing this season is she looked good. The girls were gagged at these outfits. I'm sorry. There were some scenes where I was literally just staring in awe because the outfits, girl, the face card, the hair, body tee, everything, girl, everything looked good. Her wedding dress, oh my God, it looked too good. No. I don't think you understand. Like, I really don't think y'all understand how bad that wedding dress ate. Like, for me, it's the way that it was like white, but it was also like slightly pink. At the wedding scene, I literally started tearing up, not because of the actual wedding. No, that wedding was a mess, girl. I really started tearing up because it was just like, I was just thinking of all the girls that kind of see themselves reflected in Penelope. Obviously the quiet girls and everything, the wallflowers, but also just plus size women and women that are told like they're not the standard, they're not conventionally attractive, getting to be like the main character and getting to be beautiful and be the desired one. Like, it sounds so corny, but I swear to God, I was just like, bro, like, I feel like in that moment, I just was like, oh, we really took a step forward as society. Like, I know a lot of the time we're flopping as people, but you know, we ate this little one. Like, we ate this little one. Colin Bridgerton. Girl, I have mixed feelings. Ooh, sorry, my Colin lovers. you might want to look away. Girl, I kind of got the ick. Like, girl, I was just icked out. First of all, I've always been a little bit icked out by Colin, and here's why. Girl, hear me out. Please put the pitchfork down. First season 1, where he fell for Marina in 3 seconds. Then in season 2, where he had that like weird beard going on and he was just yapping about his travels. And now in season 3, him coming back as like this player type, like, girl, that was not cute. It was not cute. Immediately icked out. And something about his face just looked off. I think it was his haircut. Something just looked off. But anyways, let me stop tearing this man up. Like I mentioned earlier, this season is different from others because it presents Penelope, the love interest, as more of the main character than the actual Bridgerton sibling. And I think because of this, they really struggled to allocate enough time into properly characterizing Colin. We don't see him enough, and we don't see things from his perspective enough. Because of that, I think his character fell a little bit flat for me, and I kind of struggled to empathize with him. They were trying to tell us all sorts of stuff through other characters. I think in part 1, Violet says something along the lines of like, you never choose happiness for yourself, you always put others before you. And I'm like, okay, cool, but we didn't see any of that in part 1. All we saw was like him putting up this player facade. We never saw anything from his perspective where it's like him going home and like taking off that mask and being over it until like the end. And it's like, girl, I would have loved to see more, because I think in season 2 they did an amazing job of really helping us understand Anthony through the flashbacks and through his inner monologues and everything. We really understood his internal dilemma of like, you know, I love Kate and I want to choose happiness, but my duty comes first and all this. You really understood him. Here with Colin, I really struggled to resonate with him in the same way. I will say though that in part 2, I think they did a little bit better of a job. After finding out that Penelope is Lady Whistledown, he does go through this struggle of like, not only being upset that she lied to him, obviously, but he's also a little bit jealous of her, which I think was a really interesting point that I wish they had done a little bit more with, like just feeling helpless and trying to save Penelope from being ruined and save his family from being ruined. By the end of the season, Penelope tells Colin that, you know, I don't need you to do things for me to love you. Like him basing his value on what he's able to provide for others. I thought that was really interesting. And I'm like, girl, y'all could have gotten into more depth with this. This is interesting stuff that we want to see. Like the whole point of having individual seasons is that once it gets to their turn, you're seeing things that you didn't notice in the earlier seasons because it wasn't from their perspective. Girl, it's literally their season and we're not seeing anything. The polin romance as a whole, girl, it fell flat. Like I said, not enough episodes. They did not give enough time to building up this relationship. And then by the time they get together, oh, we're focusing on Lady Whistledown. Oh, there's no time for romance. I just feel like the little romance we did get felt a little bit forced. It felt a little bit what is it, spoon fed? Is that the word? This was supposed to be a friends to lovers trope, a trope that I really enjoyed. But I think the reason why this friends to lovers fell flat for me is because we didn't really feel their friendship enough this season. They did not give us enough of like, oh, these people are really good friends. You know what I mean? I really think what could have helped this was including more flashbacks. I can't believe I'm comparing this to the Summer I Turned Pretty. They're not alike in any way, guys, I swear. But those flashbacks they would put of like Belly and Conrad and Belly and Jeremiah to help kind of show you like how long their friendship has spanned. I think throwing in a couple of, you know, little little flashbacks for Colin and Penelope, maybe a flashback of the time where they met for the first time, could have helped us, you know, understand like, okay, this is a really deep-rooted friendship and, you know, these are two people that really love and respect each other. I didn't really feel that, but that could just be me though. I don't know. The Lady Whistledown reveals to Colin, girl, that was so rushed. And then they ended up getting married while he was still mad at her. Like, we really only resolved things in the last episode. Like, that's not cute. I think this romance was just another victim of not having enough episodes, not having enough time allocated to properly flesh out the story. Oh, and here I wrote heavy ab breathing. Because girl, that breathing they were doing every time they were close to each other, girl, nobody breathes like that. Just stop. Just take a puff of that inhaler and keep it pushing. Like, why are we breathing so heavy?
And now I simply cannot believe that a woman with such bravery loves me. how lucky I am to stand by your side and soak up even a little bit of your light. If my only purpose in life is to love a woman as great as you, then I will be a very fulfilled man indeed.
Eloise, going into the season, I didn't really like Eloise either. She really annoyed me last season, but I did stand with her in her anger towards Penelope. I thought she was, you know, justified. Like, girl, you trying to ruin my life. I really started to like her in part 1. I like that she held her ground, you know, set boundaries with Penelope. She was like, girl, I'm not gonna forgive you that easily. You know what you did. I also really like that she participated a little bit more in society, befriended some of the other girls. I thought that was nice because she used to be such a hater where it's like, girl, that's cool if you want to be a feminist and you don't want to get married, but why are you hating on us? Girl, we're just trying to get by, especially knowing it's a society where women really don't have the luxuries to just stay single and stuff. Girl, why are you hating? Like, just leave me alone, please. And I might be in the minority with this, but I loved her friendship with Cressida. I am a sucker for like the mean girl turned nice trope. I love that. I'll always eat that up. So it was nice to see her befriend Cressida. Where Eloise started losing me was in part 2. I was really shocked to see Eloise not being a little bit more empathetic towards Cressida. I think it was very messy of Cressida to take credit for being Lady Whistledown. I don't know how far she thought she was gonna go with that, but I was shocked to see Eloise just immediately switch up on her and just abandon her. I really thought that Eloise of all people would understand Cressida's desperation to not end up in that horrific arranged marriage. There's also the scene where she tells Penelope, like, yeah, just let Cressida take the credit for being Lady Whistledown. You don't need Lady Whistledown. It's just gossip. Let it go. What? I think Eloise just sometimes, no, not even sometimes. I think Eloise is just a bad friend. I'm gonna say it point blank. I think she never listens to her friends. She doesn't see them. Even though I feel like she was justified in season 2, I really think that's what ultimately led to her falling out with Penelope. Because girl, how did you not see that your best friend was Lady Whistledown? No, how did you not see that your best friend had a crush on your brother for over 10 years? Lord Debling figured it out in 5 minutes. 5. But you're claiming to be this girl's best friend and you don't notice? Okay. Oh, okay. Like, girl, you literally don't listen to your friends. Those scenes where Cressida would be trying to like confide in Penelope and tell her that her life is literally about to go to hell because this 80-year-old man is trying to marry her and she just wouldn't be listening. Oh, like, girl, those drove me insane. Like, girl, just listen to your friend. I feel like she comes off as very tone deaf, very privileged. She claims to be this feminist when I just feel like, girl, she's not even a girl's girl, because when she has chances to actually help the women in her life, crickets, she doesn't even listen to them. And she just doesn't realize how privileged she is as a Bridgerton. Like, yeah, girl, it's really easy to go against society when you have a loving family that really don't care what you do. Characters like Penelope, Cressida, most of the women in society in that time period don't have that luxury to just be like, oh, I don't want to participate in society. Like, I don't like men. Girl, she's not very self-aware of that fact. It just gives tone deaf at times. I'm sorry. Like, I feel like she just needs to be a better friend. By the end of the season though, she does seem a lot more self-aware. She's like, you know, I'm gonna take some time away in Scotland and really just get acquainted with the world around me. I think that might do her some good because she really just, you know, she needs some time outside. Cressida's character, Cressida's in a similar boat to Penelope, where she's also in her 3rd season, flopping, no marriage prospects, except her family is really threatening her. They're like, girl, if you don't get married, we're getting you married ourselves. Obviously, Cressida's fighting for her life, trying to find a proper husband, but it just doesn't work out for her. I really was ready to like her this season, but they redeemed her just to end up making her the villain and literally the primary antagonist of the second half of the show. So I think they did this character so dirty. I'm so mad that she got such a bad ending. I think she should have ended up with Lord Debling. I don't know where that man went. He literally disappeared after the first half of the season, but I think she should have just gotten with him. She could have lived a happy life while he's away on his boat tours or whatever the hell he does. It would have gotten her a happy ending, but also gotten her outside of the lives of everybody else. So, you know, everybody would have been happy. I don't know why they didn't do that. I don't know. I just really empathized with her situation. I understood why she did the things she did. And I'm really surprised that a lot of these other characters didn't see why she was a little bit justified in her actions, especially Eloise. I mentioned it before, but even Penelope claims that she writes Lady Whistledown to be a voice for the voiceless, to help women feel seen, but then she has opportunities in real life to help women and it's always crickets. Like, girl, I also wish we had gotten to see some more positive interactions between Penelope and Cressida. I think if Penelope had gotten to see the side of Cressida that Eloise got to see in the first half of the season, I think she might have actually liked her just a little bit and they would have realized that they have more in common than they initially thought. But of course, we didn't get any of that. Everybody is just really quick to abandon her, and by the end of the season, she really ends up with nothing. These other characters, girl, can I start off by saying I did not care about the Mondricks. Girl, you know, we love to see Black love, we love to see Black characters up, Black characters living in luxury, but like, take the whole Mondrick story out, changes nothing about the season. I think that time could have easily been given to better flesh out Penelope and Colin's stories. We didn't get that, obviously. I also did not care about Benedict's side plots. Girl, every time they would pan back to Benedict and Lady Tilly or whatever, fighting the urge to skip, I don't care. I feel like Benedict does the same thing every season and it's just starting to get tired. Like, girl. Did like that they had him explore his sexuality a little bit. We find out that he's bi. Cool, but y'all could have done that in less scenes. What it was given by the end of the season is that his season will be next. That's how they set it up. They mentioned the masquerade ball, but I don't know if I'm really that excited that his season is next. Going into this, I really wanted him to be the next person in line, but after watching the season, girl, it just feels like he has a lot of maturing and growing up to do before he's ready to lock down. You know what I mean? Like, it's not given ready for marriage, and I'm sure we'll see that in his season, but I don't know. I wasn't really feeling his character this season. Wasted way too much time. Too much. That threesome that they kept panning back to at random parts. I really like Francesca's character. I think it was really interesting. I was really invested in her story. I do think they gave her way too much screen time. Like, if you had told me this was Francesca's season and not Penelope's, I would believe you. I don't know, her and John were so cute together. Like, I was eating up all their little scenes together. And also them changing her future love interest to a woman, girl, I think it's gonna be so interesting. I know people are mad and I do not care. Like, y'all getting way too mad over a fictional series, girl. It was never that serious. One thing I also noticed that was really cute is that Violet was telling Francesca that, like, when she met her late husband, she was so taken that she forgot her own name. And then when Francesca meets Michaela, she forgets her own name. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. It's supposed to be like it's a little parallel, a little callback. I was like, oh, that's so cute. Violet and Lord Anderson, I was so invested in their story. Out of all the romances we got this season, they were easily my favorite. I was rooting for them so bad. I think they're so cute. And Lord Anderson is, ooh, why is he so cute? I think Violet really deserves to finally have her turn in love, and I'm really excited to see where that goes. I'm glad he also resolved things with Lady Danbury, Lady Featherington. I'm glad Lady Featherington finally got her little win. You know, I mean, she's been hustling for the last 2 seasons, and finally one of her daughters marries rich. Girl, we love to see it. I also really love that her relationship with Penelope is so much better by the end of the season. But for the most part, girl, most of these side plots, I didn't care. Oh, also seeing Kate and Anthony was really nice. Even though it was a little bit messy, like, you could tell exactly when Simone Ashley and Jonathan Bailey were there to shoot their scenes, because they would just be in one scene and out the next. I found it really interesting that Anthony didn't come back to attend Francesca's wedding, but it's obviously because of shooting conflicts that they couldn't bring them back for that. Y'all have fun in India though. I like that they're moving there. Well, I just want to reiterate that all these side plots, all these side characters, we didn't need all of this. I just want to make that clear. We didn't need to do all of this. Overall, this season was a hot ass mess. It was, but I actually really enjoyed it. Part 1 left me feeling really concerned for the state of this season. I was like, oh, it's a miss. Like, this is terrible. Part 2 really saved everything for me. Although it was crazy and there was so much going on, I was locked in. I was rooting for Penelope. I was invested. I really wanted things to work out. I think where this season has the other ones beat is that it just has so much heart. So many wise words were said. I think this is the only season 2 where I've cheered up multiple times, which is saying a lot. You just really fall in love with all of the characters, and I just think, I don't know, it's just a really, you know, it's a mess, but it's my mess. All right, ain't nobody gonna talk down on my show. I think one thing I realized by the end of the season is that the reason things like the romance, for example, felt so lacking is because it wasn't really meant to be a love story, at least not in the way we expected it to be. I think this season is more so about falling in love with yourself, you know, just accepting yourself as you truly are. It's cringe, but I really think that's what they were trying to get at. We were really supposed to be watching Penelope herself, you know, finally step away from the wall and step into the light and accept herself as Penelope, but also as Lady Whistledown. And I think that's why the romance felt a little bit like it was on the back end. I think once you understand that, you're able to appreciate the season just a little bit more for what it is. I do think the ending was a bit unsatisfying. The queen exposing her in front of everybody, like, girl, why did you have to do that? I really thought the queen would keep Penelope's secret. I don't know why I gave her that much credit. I feel like it's just weird to have your identity out trying to write gossip, because now you never know if the gossip is actually genuine because people know who you are. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I don't know. Anyways, I think I liked it. It wasn't my favorite, obviously, but I don't think you're meant to love or like absolutely adore every season. There's gonna be like 7 of them total. I think certain people will enjoy certain seasons more than others based on which characters resonate with them the most, which stories resonate with them the most. I haven't read all of the Bridgerton books, but I have read a similar series called the Bergman Brothers. They have the same concept where it's like 7 siblings, and each book is a different sibling story. And of that entire series, you know, there were stories I liked more than others. There were stories I didn't like at all, ones that I loved. And it's just because, you know, certain things resonate with me and certain things don't. So I'm not really upset at this season because I think for somebody else, it's gonna hit right for them. I think the show also is just so much fun, has such fun, lovable characters that even when it's bad, even when it's messy, it's still good, it's still enjoyable, and I'm still gonna be seated, I'm still gonna be locked in. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give this one a solid 7.5 out of 10. It was just really fun. It was messy, but it was fun. And yeah, those are all of my thoughts on Bridgerton. I'm sure I forgot a lot of stuff. It's gonna be my thoughts for a while because apparently the next season isn't coming out until 2026. See y'all then. But yeah, let me know if you guys agree with my points. If you disagree, come join my favorite club to discuss more. I'd love to know what you guys thought about the season. Let me know if you agree with things I said, if you disagree, if there's anything I missed, because I'm sure I missed a lot of stuff. I struggle to articulate my thoughts at times, so I probably forgot a bunch of stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you want more discussion videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
I would be lying to my core if I said that I hope there's no more drama here. I like drama. Drama drives me at times because I think without drama, what's the fun in life?